Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Thursday. So, what are we going to talk about today? I thought we could talk a little bit about mentoring and teaching our trade to others. So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Thursday, the 5th of February, 2026. So, what do I mean by mentoring? What is it to mentor? And the mentor is normally older, but it doesn't have to be. The mentor could be somebody young that's very experienced and good at what they do. And what I find over my vast years is the ones that are exceptional at what they do have a hard time trying to teach somebody else how they do it. It's kind of like a gift. Either you have it or you don't have it, right? And I'm kind of an old philosopher of you can teach an old dog new tricks. I do believe that you have to have a degree of, what's the right word? The ability to take things apart and put them back together. If you can do that, half the battle's won already because now you're just going to be working on troubleshooting, right? You haven't got to worry about, okay, why are we have all these extra parts left over? But Claude is a good teacher. He snaps a little bit and grumbles, but he's a lovable old guy. And my grandson was interested in what we were doing, and he also wanted to help out with hay. But so I told him, I said, when you get to summer break, I'll have you come down for a couple of weeks. You can stay with me, work in the shop, and hay when the hay's ready. So he was all for that. And the kid worked hard. I mean, I'm not trying to brag about my grandson, but my granddaughter raised her right in that he listened. He had the tools. Claude told him how to do something once. He was doing it. He was doing services on lawnmowers and going head to toe with them. And he was sucking it right in. And those are the ones that we need to be mentoring, right? And I attribute that summer to what he ended up doing when he was a freshman in high school was he turned towards a trade. Instead of going to all regions classes and then going on to college like I did, he opted because right now we have a shortage in the trade industry. Okay, and that is we're not getting qualified people to replace who is leaving. And that's hurting that sector. A robot can't do what this group can, right? AI can replace a lot of upper echelon in college students because it can compile hundreds of thousands of millions of pages and give you a summary of what it all says in the matter of seconds. Whereas before you had to rely on all these people to read stuff and decide, what was the next step. So that's why you're seeing a large layoff in the white collar workers because AI is replacing a lot of those people. AI is making those decisions that was and doing the legwork that all those people were doing, right? They no longer need them. They have AI. AI is faster, But AI can't decide to go out and where to dig a hole, where not to dig a hole, or the feel of the excavator, how it feels and everything. Are there offshoots of that? Yes, absolutely. And the autonomous equipment, the big stuff at mining companies, be honest with you, if you ever watch YouTube, it's a great place to find things out. But there's a whole bunch of videos on just that, of where these guys are all sitting in these rooms with monitors in front of them and joysticks and everything, and they're running the heavy shovels, the trucks coming up the ramps, the dumping. They're doing all that from a distance because it's safer to have that person back there, right? Is there a higher degree of training for that? Yeah. You're actually remotely running that piece of equipment. Now, when I was underground, we had, and I operated that for a while as well, and that was a remote loader. And we would use that loader in areas that we deemed unsafe for humans, where you could get hurt. And more than once, we buried that loader and had to dig it out because the muck would come down on top of it. But you had it strapped onto your shoulders, and you had a remote of forward, backwards, turn right, turn left, run the bucket, everything right there in your hand. And when it wasn't there, all you had to do was just throw a switch on the loader and you could go back to running it conventionally. But it had the remote ability to be in those areas. Is that the way of the future? I think so. I mean, a lot of kids are doing things, all these games and everything that they're with their hands and movements and stuff. I know that it's very rewarding for a lot of these people. But getting back to my grandson, with being around Claude, he decided he'd get into the trades, and that is heavy equipment operator. So he spent this past year running dozers, front end loaders, backhoes, and he's in seventh heaven. He loves running equipment. And that's the big thing, that most people don't realize. They go after the money and then they hate their job. Instead of going after a job that isn't a field they love. Because if they love and enjoy doing it, it's not work. You're enjoying doing it, Mike Rowe that you see on TV for like Deadliest Catch and all the other ones, he's a big promoter of mentoring the younger kids. And I'm a big proponent on you need to mentor who is willing to be mentored. And just because the person is younger than you are does not mean that they can't show you some of the newer stuff. And depending upon the personality and how you react will mean everything. If you're standoffish and grumbly and this and that, then you're probably not going to learn anything. But if you seriously want to learn and learn it right, a lot of this newer stuff that's out here, the young bucks have got the ones to step up where the old timers don't. And that's been playing out for years and years and years. They call it the extinction of the dinosaur, which is the older retired worker, right? One of the biggest things that I've seen in the past 10 years is we have people coming into the workforce that feel that if they just show up, that they should get paid. That's all that was asked of them, Why should they have to work? It kind of goes back to that participation trophy where everybody gets a trophy instead of having winners and losers. If you've never had to push yourself or try and fail, what's going to happen when you hit the real world? The real world, you're going to think, well, all I have to do is show up. That's participation. And I'm going to get rewarded. But most workplaces don't work that way. You're there to make money for that company, to do your part that you hired on to do, right? So that's why employers are having awful times with employees, because a lot of them that are showing up haven't got any work history, think that if they just show up in their body in that position, that they don't have to do anything all day long. Or they're on their phone or gone to the bathroom. Or when I worked, it was based on productivity, not a participation of just showing up. If you just showed up and you weren't showing any progress, you were let go. Companies didn't deal with people like that. If you're lazy, you're lazy. The only one's going to be able to motivate you is you. And if you can't motivate yourself, why should a company try? You're there because you're there for that job, that specific job, right? If you're not qualified and they're willing to teach you, there's the other thing is a lot of people don't take into consideration is a lot of these companies spend a lot of money on just training. You know, like when I went into the mines, there was a lot of money spent in time loss training me how to run each piece of equipment because that piece of equipment in the right hands could do 200 pins in a day into the hanging. Where with me getting used to it, I was doing 60, 70. So that's lost productivity, right? But they looked at it and they said, if he's willing to learn, he's got the aptitude to learn, let's see what he can do. And before long, I was doing the 200 to 300 pins a day. But had I not been given the chance and the training to know how to run that, I would never have achieved what I did. You see what I'm saying? So the companies spend a lot of money training you. And people change jobs more than I change my underwear nowadays. Nobody stays with a company very long, and that because they all look at what am I going to get financially, right? It's not do I like my job, it's I want more money. Well, we talked about the other day, if you want more money, you need to show that company and tell that company why you're worth more money. What I've seen before in different employers is an employer will take the time and energy to train you and give you a skill only for you to, once you had the skill, go work for somebody else. And that's not fair to your employer. And I know you don't care. It's all about you. I understand that. But that other employer that just hired you on because now you're skilled because this employer took the time to skill you, you don't feel like you owe this employer anything for what they did? And I can tell you, once you go over to the other employer with the skill and they teach you something else, you're going to be looking elsewhere. And they know it. And the first employer that you left after you had the skill, you think they're going to hire you back in a heartbeat? Probably not. Because they don't want to waste the time and effort in somebody that doesn't have any plans of staying for any amount of time. It's too costly, too time consuming to train people the way they want them trained. The company wants them trained. So in the comments, are you doing any mentoring right now? And if you are, how's that going? And have you thought about mentoring some of the younger kids, whether it be your kids, your grandkids, even your great-grandkids? Maybe it's a couple of kids in the neighborhood that would love to learn how to tinker on lawnmowers and stuff because it's a dying art. It is. It's a throwaway generation. And, I mean, when I was young, I had wrenches in my hand. I was watching my grandfather do mechanical stuff. And that's what got me involved in it. On that note, you guys have a great Thursday.